Getting ready. Let's see if this looks good here. All right, I have my notes. Let me get my water. I'm gonna give a couple of minutes for people to start joining us. Today is gonna be a pretty good day. We are going to talk a lot about the astral, low astral, and larva, as well as how to identify your spirit team techniques so that you can start identifying the energies, whether they're positive or negative, so that you can be more efficient. So let me just pull my notes. I have a lot of notes. Some of this information we talked about in another live. I don't know why the computer is answering. And I'm going to give you at the end, I'm going to give you something that you're really going to need if you really want to start working and picking up even more information from the higher planes so that you can identify and you can get secret information from your spirit team. So I'm going to tell you how to pull the bóveda at the end so that you can do this in advance. So this is going to be very powerful information. I am going to make sure that I don't forget anything. So I'm pulling up my notes. I'm going to make sure that I give you everything that I can. So it's going to be a lot of information here that you're going to need if you're really serious about this. If you're not serious, then, don't waste your time, because this is truly going to be information that is going to help you advance in how to understand the astral law. We're specifically going to focus today on law. The astral planes have different levels. We're going to talk about all those different levels so you can understand by the time that we get to how to identify your spirit team, so that you can understand why understanding the low and the mid and the high astral levels and the astral larva is key for you to identify your spirit team. So please be patient, have an open mind, take notes or come back and take notes after you listen to this the first time. This is information that, might truly make sense to you if you're truly tapping into advancing in your understanding of how it is to work in the spirit dimension, in the astral planes, and even higher planes. So this is the foundation. We talked a little bit about this when we did the live on the dream stages and the astral plane, but this is going to go even more in depth because this is important. I'm going to keep looking down so I can get, I have my points that I want to make sure that I don't forget. So if you're here and you have to go, please remember to leave the comment in the chat. And when I get a chance, I will go through the comments. But first, I want to make sure that I go into the conversation so that I don't lose my train of thought, because when I look at the chat, then I get distracted and then I forget. So, I'm getting all. So please leave the comment, and I promise I'll look at it towards the end or when I need a break and need to catch myself and take a moment. Okay, so again, we're going to be here for hopefully an hour, no more than an hour and a half, because I do have a client at 1 p.m. so I have to remember that. So this is going to be crucial information so that you can truly understand how to work with the spirit team and identify who is coming depending on what you experience. So we're going to spend time talking about the astral planes, about the larva energies. This is the bacteria that is in the astral plane. They look like little bugs. Sometimes they have no forms. They're just like little tiny particles, bacteria. that if you have the eye to see, you could identify and feel them like little bugs, like crawlers, little weird bugs. So today we're going to spend time talking about that. And then after we do that, we're going to talk about the different ways that you can identify the spirit team after you know this, because I want to make sure that you know this so you don't get tricked. That's why I'm being very, I wanted to do this before we talked about the spirit team, and I'm going to try to combine both so that you can follow the sequence. But I don't want you to get tricked, which is why I'm going to give you the astral energies first. And when we talk about the astral realm, there are different levels of evilness. There are different levels of entities as well. There are energies that we talked about in the other previous conversations about how they might be at a crossroad. They don't know if they're going to the right or to the left planes. We talked about the left and the right planes in other conversations, so you can watch that in the previous conversations, specifically when we talked about the dreams and the different brain waves. You can go to that video to learn more about that. So I'm going to assume that you have seen all of that. So please, if there is something that doesn't make sense, put it in the comments, say hello in the comment area, in the chat area, and then, hopefully we can keep this as an engaging conversation, because I don't want to feel like I'm preaching to you, but at the same time, I want to make sure that you understand how serious it is to understand this as the foundation, so that you are no, okay, let me be honest with you. No matter the medium is going to have experiences, trainings, challenges, and we all get tricked by these entities. But once you go through those trainings, you know better. So that's why I can tell you from my own personal experience, this is serious and you need to know this, because if you are going or you have gone through this, doesn't mean that you're a bad medium or channeler or you're not doing good spiritually understanding. It just means you had to go through that, because we all have to experience so that we can become better, right? We cannot become better just by being always great. We have to go through the tests and trainings and challenges so that we can understand energy at a deep, deep level. I'm not talking about surface stuff. I'm talking about deep level understanding of the different spirits in the astral planes and the higher planes and the lower planes, however you want to call it. So there are different levels of evilness. And I know some people don't believe that there is dark energies out there. And, if that's you, you might not want to see this video, because I have to bring that in this conversation so that you can understand how to identify the spirits of light that are coming to you. But if you don't understand that there are grace of evilness, you're more prone to being taken by these energies and being confused by them. So I just want to make sure that that's clear, because I don't want to confuse, and I don't want anyone to think that I'm trying to promote the fact that there is evil waiting for you to come and get you. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, in order for you to become a really good medium, you have to be able to understand that there are dark forces out there, and you have to know how to identify them and do what you need to do depending on your life path in order for you to continue your ascension process and help those that are around you, including yourself, right? That's what I'm saying. So, because there are different levels of evilness, different levels of frequency, you can even see it as frequency. You might know, if you don't want to give it bad and good, that's okay. Call it frequency, different hertz, different vibration. Within those vibrations, we have positive and negative situations. The ones that are very low are negative situations. If you don't want to call them evil, you can call them negative situation. That's okay. Up to you. I'm going to leave that up to you, because I don't have to make you believe something that you don't want to believe. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to respect that. But if you want to truly understand that there is positive and negative, then you have to listen to this and pay a lot of attention, is what I'm saying. So I'm going to do a quick review of the different frequency hertz, the vibration, the frequency where these spirits reside, so that you can understand and have a deeper understanding of why those frequency are very important for you to know, especially if you are developing your mediumship abilities, your channeling abilities. We talked a bit about this in the dreams and brainwave stage, but I have to break that down again before we continue, so you have the foundation, especially if you haven't seen that, because otherwise you're going to be completely lost for the rest of this conversation. We talked about the ascended beings, ascended master, working at a frequency of 1,000 hertz plus. These are pure love consciousness, benevolent spirits that normally work 1,000 hertz plus. So through channeling, they can give you information without then having to manifest in any specific way. Within you don't need to do anything specifically to feed that energy, because they resonate at such a high frequency that honestly we are vibrating at a lower frequency. So we actually have our body goes through this transition where when we channel them, we may get really tired because it's a lot for this physical body to handle. So the ascended beings, ascended masters that are resonating at 1,000 plus frequency, like I said, they come to teach us, they protect us, they guide us, they teach us, they give us information so that we can continue to help others that are in this physical reality in order for them to wake up to. So that's their purpose, to help those that are in developing developing their abilities, so that we almost like they might come to heal through you, they might come to give messages through you, they might come to put someone in line, so that you as a healer in this reality, they use your body, whether it is mentally or by channeling them, to give information to others or heal others by using your physical body, so that they can come through you and so on, right? Sometimes they do not come through you, they only give you mental images and things so that you can see without having to mount that energy, because they're resonating at such a high frequency that this physical body might have a lot of issues if we mount those energies. Now, spirit guides might be ascended spirits or lower than in ascended spirit, ascended master energy, and they resonate between 100 to 1,000 hertz plus. So depending on your spirit guide, you might have spirit guides that are resonating at 100 frequency, or 140, 180, 200, 500 hertz, whatever it may be. They're resonating at that frequency. And I want to share this with you because this is channel information. 140 frequency, at 140 frequency hertz is what they told me. They don't need anything from us. We don't need to do anything for them to manifest. That we don't need to give them anything at all. We don't need to do anything. They can manifest. They don't need anything to manifest, because they have the power to manifest without needing anything. All right. So when you start talking to some of these energies, and they may be always asking you for things, you need to be careful with that, is what I'm saying. If you see what I'm saying, you'll understand what I'm saying. Because 140 frequency plus is where most of the spirit guides are reside. 140 plus. And because they are that frequency, they don't need anything from us in order for them to manifest. So we don't need to do this, we don't need to do that in order for them to manifest, because they're already elevated, purified, elevated energies. Purified spirits who have paid their karma resonate over 40 plus. Those are energies that are in the process of paying their karma. They are resonating over 40 hertz plus. They might these energies might have more tight, they might be more, how do you call this, they might have more attachments to the earth reality, because they're still in the process of purification. They're still in the process of paying for the karma, or they have paid their karma and they're in the process of purification. And part of that process is to come and help those that are in this reality, but because they're newly, they have newly transitioned, they are still more prone to be used. That's why some people might use them for positive or negative forces, because they're still not sure. How can I explain this? They're still not sure which is it, the right or the left. So they depend on whoever is the priest and priestess or whoever they're helping to hopefully pick the right thing, so that they can do the right thing and continue their process. Now, if they're over 55 hertz plus, they're going to be more prone to know, okay, no, I don't need to do that. I need to go to do this or whatever they have chosen, the right or the left is what I'm saying. So these spirits might, some of these spirits might become obsessor spirits. These are disembodied energies that they might become obsessors, because 40 hertz is not a lot of frequency. 40 hertz is right in between, we have, I think his name was Richard Hawkins. He has a pyramid, and the pyramid stars, they analyze the different frequencies and how the different frequencies, the emotions of, shame is the worst emotion that we can have, and that frequency is 20 hertz, below 20 hertz. Those people that are below 20 hertz resonating at that frequency of shame are calling in energies that are disembodied energies or falling angels, demon energy, to their light bodies. They're prone to allow those energies, because they're resonating at such a low frequency, that they allow those energies to infiltrate and take over, basically. So 40 hertz is not that far from 20 hertz. So you can see that whether you're purified or not going yet to your purification process as a spirit, you might pick right or left. It is going to be up to, sometimes it's up to the priests and priestesses that are working with these energies, that may make them not go through the purification process, because they might decide to work on the left planes without knowing that they're doing that. And I find that often with a lot of people that have deceased people, disembodied energies, and they don't know why they were sent to that person. They just follow the orders because they hope that they're doing the right thing so that they can continue their purification process, and they don't understand that's not what they're doing. So you see how those energies can be quickly tricked by people that are living like you and me, that we decide how to use those energies. So if one of those energies come across someone that is very negative, they might get tricked into working with the left planes without them even knowing. So within the disembodied energies, we have different levels too. And the disembodied energies, we talked about the demons, we talked about the different chiefs that work under those demons that some people call fallen angels. We talked about disembodied energies that are just, they exist for evil, to do bad things, because that is the main purpose. We have those that are the crossroad, and we have those that realize they want to work with the right planes, and they're going through the purification process within the disembodied energies that are in the astral plane. So you can see how there are different levels within this realm, these astral planes. And as well, we have the larva. The larva, the low larva exists for the pure pleasure of causing trickery, pain, discomfort, and things that they have their purposes to be a little mischievous, if you want to call it like that. They might not be the worst evil that you will find, but they cause challenges to anyone. And a lot of mediums have to go through learning how to defend themselves from this larva, because a lot of the clients that they end up seeing when the clients come to them is people that are being affected by this larva. So the larva is like the bacteria in the in the fluid in the astral plane that surrounds. Basically, once we go over a certain point, this larva surrounds the earth, and this fluid has bacteria coming from the universe that sometimes gets attached to your light bodies depending on your vibration. This is the reason why we spend so many hours in the Awakening the Video within program video course talking about the heart space, and later it's going to make sense to you, because if you are resonating at a high frequency, those things cannot attach to you. They will not be able to attach to you, so that you don't even have to worry about them, like other people that are always tend to be depressive, tend to be negative. And we're going to be talking about that later on, so please be patient. So you can see from the astral planes the different entities that exist, the demons, especially the fallen angels. They're resonating below 1920 hertz. These are spirits that can become imposters spirits. They might present themselves to you in a way that they might appear to look and be spirits of the light, but what they're trying to do is trick you and have you do things that are not for your highest good, especially if you're not working with your energy of discernment. Spiritual discernment is key. You cannot advance as a medium channeler, as a spiritist, without understanding spiritual discernment. I hope that makes sense. And I know I'm talking very fast, but I'm trying to break down what we discussed before so that you have that foundation before we continue. Okay, let's see what else. In terms of these energies, they exist and they have to. It's almost like they have to exist by using those that have light. And because humans have a natural light, these energies come to humans to feed from us. If you're resonating at a low frequency, if you're resonating at a high frequency, they have a harder time getting through to you because you become almost like a mirror, and they don't like to see that. They don't like to, it's almost like a reflection, and they don't like to see that. They don't like to see themselves and who they really are. So they stay away from those that are resonating at such a high frequency, because we become reflectors, almost like a mirror where they can see themselves, and then like they have to back off. So those people that are resonating at a very low frequency tend to be the ones that allow those things to infiltrate, depending on their devices, depending on their thoughts, depending on the things that they're doing. Even if it's just with their thinking, they allow things to come through. So when you truly become negative, I don't, pay attention to the things that you're saying to yourself. I don't like this. I cannot do this. The moment you start saying don't, can, I know, I don't know, you feel inferior, anything like that, you're going to be able to, you're basically allowing yourself, your light bodies have different protection. But when you yourself bring those things into your mind, you basically almost kind of remove some of those barriers, those protection barriers. So you have to be very careful how you communicate, how you think, the things that you said to yourself, the things that you think about yourself, because those things is almost like you have 11, 12 protection barriers. But the more you think negatively and the more things that you say about yourself negatively, it's almost like you yourself take down those barriers. Like, let's pretend you have 12 soldiers working for you to always surround you and protect you from things. But you tell them, go take a day off, go take a day off. And then you're left unprotected, so that those things can go through and attach themselves to you. And then you have to figure out how to get rid of them. Especially if you're a medium, you're going to have more of these tests and training so that you learn from direct experience how to get rid of those things and how to prevent them from coming in the future. So it's part of the medians and the people that can work with the muertos and deceased and that have a very deep understanding of the astral planes and the spirit dimension are going to be people that are most prone to have depression issues, and we can go up and down, and we have to learn to balance that, because it can become the way for them to start saying things that changes how we see things, and we allow them to, if you're not careful, you can allow them to do a lot of harm with you. So you have to be very wise and very good at discerning energy in order for you to notice quickly, oh shoot, let me do this, I gotta do a spiritual bath, I gotta do this, gotta get. But if you do it so obsessively, that can also be another sign that something is wrong with you. You see what I'm saying? So you have to be balance here is very key. The disembodied spirits that are resonating between 30 to 1920 30 hertz, these are the ones that are at this crossroad that they don't know right or left. So they can be mischievous, they're not going to be very dark evil energies, but they're like jokester spirits that might trick you, might say things, might try to laugh at you, and do things that are for them is fun, especially if they're more prone to do negative things. So what else I want to the other type of energies in the astral planes that are more advanced, that have chosen the right of the left plane, those are the ones that are about 40 to 55 hertz. Those energies have decided, I'm going to work with the right planes, I'm going to do good, because they're already going through their purification as they helped you. As they're going through to talking to you, there might be ancestors or non-related ancestors that are coming to give you wisdom and knowledge from what they can, because they don't have everything. They're very limited in what they know, and they can only do certain things in order for them to prove themselves, so that they can be chosen by a more highly ascended energy that says, okay, you're going to work with me and this is what you're going to do. But they have to prove themselves. So that's why they have to pick left or right. And when they pick, then they can prove themselves to be able to do what they say that they can do, with the help of the spirits in the spirit dimension, and with you as a medium channel spiritist that says, okay, I'm going to do this for you, and in return, you're going to do this for me. Something like that, right? I hope that makes sense. Then we have the ancestors, the direct ancestors that are already gone through their purification process, and they're operating between anywhere between 50 to 100 hertz. These are guardian energies, guardian spirits that you are helping them by working with them, by praying to them, lighting that candle, talking to them from the heart. You are maybe asking them to protect the little kid in the family or something like that, or asking for advice. um, I would be careful to ask for too many things, because these energies are going through their purification process, and if you ask for too much and they cannot do it, it can actually backfire. So they will not be able to do everything for you, and you have to make sure that you are very respectful to the things that you ask. You can feed them, you can talk to them, you can light the candle, you can give them water, you can give them coffee, you can ask for advice. Why am I feeling this way? Please help me understand. But don't ask them for things that they might not be able to do, because you might prevent them from going through their purification process, and you might do more harm. Now, if they're already in the spirit guide level where they're over 100 hertz, they might be more advanced. And you will know how, because you can meditate and ask them, please show me. You can, if you've been working with them for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, a year, you can ask, are you ready to do this? To do whatever is it that you're asking. Before you ask them, they can tell you yes or no. So you have to develop a relationship with your ancestors in the spirit dimension, so that you can work with them at a more advanced level, is what I'm saying. Does that make sense? Please, if you're here, let me know if that's making sense, so I know if I'm moving too fast or no. Like I said, I'm going to quote it's not Richard, it's David Hawkins, the name of the guy that did it. It's like a chart that he did, like a triangle with the different level of consciousness. And the shame is the lowest frequency here, all the way shame, guilt, all the way to enlightenment. And the shame is below 20 hertz based on their research. Now, there are levels of expansion and contraction, similar to what we see in IFA. In IFA, we see signs that are contracting and signs that are expanding. And I think I talked about this in another live too. Depending on the signs that are expanding and contracting, and everybody has the sign that they came in and the opposite sign. We talked about that. So you can see how this concept makes total sense, because depending on the frequency that you're resonating at, you will see that shame, guilt, um, apathy, fear are the lowest. Guilt are the lowest in the triangle, the lowest frequency. This is important and it's going to make sense in a moment. Please just stay focused and hang in there. This shame, guilt, apathy, and fear are the lowest. And these, the lowest in terms of the frequency that people that have these feelings resonate at. These emotions have a frequency. Every emotion that we can think of has a frequency. And that frequency determines what we allow and what we attract into our life and what we show the universe who we are. So when we resonate at such a low frequency, we invite other energies that are resonating at the same frequency. Now when you move into the expansion, willingness, acceptedness, reason, love, joy, peace, and alignment, those are very high. And then we have the middle ones. You can go either way depending on your vibration at that time. So the middle one, desire, pride, anger, courage, even courage is right in between. So you can see how even in this triangle we have the option to go to the left or to the right. So we have to do our job to resonate at a high frequency in order for us not to invite those things into our immediate light bodies, because these things attach themselves first to the light bodies. Those are the levels of protection that we have around us until they can get through to the physical body. When they get through to the mental and the physical body is when they have hashed themselves, the larva or the low entities, disembodied energies have attached themselves to us to the point where we now can be influenced negatively, mentally or physically. Is that making sense? Please let me know. So with the low vibration emotions are all about suffering. When you feel like you're suffering because you might be feeling shameful, guilty, you might feel like you don't want to do anything. You might feel hopeless. You might feel a lot of grief and a lot of fear, hatred. These are very low vibration frequencies. And when you're resonating at that frequency, you are prone to being molested by these obsessor spirits. This is a very contraction emotions, completely opposite of the high vibration, which is the expansion. So these frequencies, these emotional frequencies, can quickly tell you who am I attracting at that moment when I have interaction with some of these energies. Sometimes high energy spirit guides can come when you're feeling any of these low vibration emotions, because they vibrate so high that they can be in any realm, they can be in anything because they resonate so high. Now, unlike the high vibrational beings that can be in any type of emotion, because they can, and they resonate so high that they can go down or up. The low vibration entities, the demons and the larvas, the larvas, the disembodied energies that are resonating below 40, they cannot go to the high emotion. When you're vibrating so high, when you're happy, when you're joyful, when you're full of life, those things cannot come close to you, because they don't have the power, the frequency power, to reach that vibration. So they can only resonate and be around you when you're vibrating very low, is what I'm trying to tell you in more simple ways. So the low vibration. Now remember, this thing that David Hawkins did is not 100% accurate. I want that to be clear, because he's saying that the fear is below 100 hertz, which it can be, because you could be fearful of the spirit dimension, and you can be interacting with very high and very low energies. But what I'm saying is, the numbers are only there to give you an idea of the frequency and your vibes, right? But you got to tap into the emotion of the feelings that you're feeling at that moment to know if it's very low, or if you're fearful, because you might be so excited that you're fearful that once you get to this point that you talk to your spirit guide, X, Y, and Z might happen. That's different. But when you're in grief, when you're grieving, when you're hating, when you're feeling hopeless, guilty, or shameful, unless a spirit guide of a high vibration might come just to rescue you, because you feel like Jesus. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you're vibrating so low, those spirit guides will say, "We gotta go rescue this person." So they might come and tell you, "Wake up, do this, like try to stay positive or something," right? They might give you dreams with numbers, and those numbers have a message for you. So you got to pay attention, right? But if you are resonating at that frequency, you got to be careful about what you're attracting into your life. Now, between the contraction phase and the expansion phase, there are different emotions that can also go to bring you down to the very low vibrations, like desire, anger, pride, courage. Because depending on, and courage is between the expansion and the low, but desire, anger, and pride are in between. Depending on how you use that desire, can lead you to the left planes or the right plane. The anger, are you angry because you're not understanding your feelings, or are you angry because you dislike someone? Then you go into the low vibration. And I'm explaining all of this because I want this to be clear for when we get later into the conversation, so that you can truly understand what I'm trying to give you here. Like I said, the expanded energy, high vibration, is a reflector energy where the low vibration energies cannot reach. And if they try, when they see you as a reflector, they back away. So when you're feeling like you are present, you are using your logical mind and you're expanding your mind. You are resonating from a clear, humble, pure love. You're resonating joy, acceptance, willingness, being present and being at peace. And you're actually happy and expressing your happiness in your own way. It's not like you gotta go with a smile everywhere, but that you're present, your heart is pure, you have cleared the shadows. The shadows that had to go, you took them to where they need to go. The shadows that need to be bring forward to the light, you have brought them forward to the light, so that they can no longer control you. Because if you have shadows that can still control you, then that's an opportunity for you to become a victim of low vibration energies. Okay. So when you're suffering, you speak negatively to yourself. you say things like, I don't want this, I don't want that, I why can I have that, why can I have this, why am I in pain, why am I suffering, why am I frustrated, I am tired of this, I don't have the mindset for that, I can never do that. Those are very low vibrational things that we said to ourselves. These are contracting energies. They're not expanding, they're contracting. And because of that, when we talk to ourselves like this, you can pay attention to yourself, and you can use this as a process to understand, why am I feeling this way? So that you can quickly realize that you're operating from a low negative mindset, and that you have to do something to increase your frequency, whether it is dancing, walking in nature, listening to a mantra. Even just listening to a mantra might kick you out of that low vibration energy, so that you don't allow yourself. But you also have to do a lot of reflection. Why am I feeling this way? Where is this really coming from? Because that's how you're going to purify your heart, by taking all those shadows away. All of those things are shadows. When you always start talking to yourself negatively, those things are shadow holding you, holding you, holding you. And now you got to bring them to the light or remove them completely, because it might be the environment, how you were raised, and so on the things that you have experienced. But you have to figure out how to go in, navigate in, go to the root of that feeling, of that emotion, so that you can bring it to the light, so that it can no longer have power over you. So you got to do that one by one, right? But when you speak negatively, okay, you're in suffering mode. Suffering means low vibration. Therefore, I have to do something. A lot of people that are going through the dark night of the soul, they're in between high and low. And it's almost like a yo yo, high and low, high and low. Yay, no, yay, no. And that happens because you're taking out so much negative shadows that you might be bringing to the line, and you got to bring them out, or bring it to the light. So you're going up and down, up and down, up and down. But if you know you're doing that, you should be able to know, okay, what is my medicine? Do I listen to music? Do I walk in nature? Do I ground? You got to do something to balance that energy, so it doesn't become a yo-yo. Because that's why it takes people some. I went through that. I'm telling you from my personal experience that I went through that. And during that time, I was not only being attacked, but I was also listening and seeing things, and feeling like, this is crazy. Like, why is this happening to me? And up and down, up and down. So you really have to know. And I'm telling you this from experience, because I finally, when I learned my lesson, then it was like this. But before that, I was like high and low every day. I will wake up happy, and in the middle of the day, I'll be sad. Then I'll be happy. Then I'll be sad. And it was like a yo-yo, a yo-yo. So you have to know how to. It's easier for me now to tell you, because once I figured it out, it was quicker for me to get out of that. But before that, I was like, how do I get rid of this? Like, I can no longer deal with these high and low feelings multiple times throughout the day, not just once, but multiple times throughout the day. So these low astral energies in the larva, in the astral planes, they create so much disturbance. When people go into the astral plane when they sleep and they have nightmares, those nightmares are coming from these entities. Those nightmares are coming from your emotions, but those emotions attract things. So you have to start paying attention to your dreams, because if you're really going through your awakening or evolution of becoming a spiritist, meeting or channeler, you really have to know how to work in the dream state, in the astral plane, so that you can skip some of those planes of existence. Otherwise, you kind of get a little trap in there for a little while until you can find your way out. And a lot of people that are developing their gifts, they might end up in the astral planes a lot of the time, because they have to learn how to go through it like a warrior and get out quickly, or jump over it, so they don't even have to like get stuck there. Okay. um these energies of the low astral and the larva energies, they create obsessions for us. And this is very important because a lot of people don't understand that a lot of the people that have obsessions and addictions is because we are being affected by these disembodied energies that are malicious. They have malicious intent. They tend to get people to get obsessed, addicted to sex, alcohol, substance abuse of, it doesn't matter what type. You can think of food or drugs or whatever. Greed is another one. They have a lot of issues. They, these energies that are in the planes, in the low astral planes, are attached to this material realm. So whatever the obsessions they had here and challenges, they bring to the spirit dimension. And from there, they can influence people here that are dealing with similar things or that are very nice. And because they want to mess with you, they come and do these things because they are opposite. They don't want to see the good. They believe in the dark. Okay, so they might be very jealous, envious people, irrational. They might have a lot of cruelty in them. Perfectionism is another one. They might have relationship obsession, so causing harm to someone as well, physically harm. But one of the most important ones that I wanted to talk to you about today is the religious and spiritual obsessions of these, some of these energies. And they use people that are very religious or very spiritual, that are going through spiritual sessions, to attach themselves because they realize how, especially if they were obsessed here. Let's say you're into 21 divisions and that's all you believe, and you swear by it. You think you know it all. You think you're the best priestess. You think you're the master. You believe yourself to be a god in this, but not in a good way. A god that you know everything. You are arrogant. You're prideful, whatever. Think of all the things that we said before, where you actually use things for the dark, or whatever. Even if you use it for the life, you're so much into it to the point that you become obsessed with it. All you do 24/7 every day, and you forget about your family, and everything is just this. You have become obsessed, and you allow the opportunity for someone that is a disembodied energy in the astral planes to come and play with you and give you information that is false. Sometimes it's half true, half fake, so that they can establish some sort of trust within you. So they might give you a little bit of truth and a lot of fake information. A lot of people that are very crazy about specific religions are prone to have obsessions, and they might be dealing with an obsessor spirit that was part of the same practice, and they haven't overcome that in the spirit dimension. So religious additions, obsessions, no addition, obsessions, like excessive prayer every day they have to go pray every day, but 2-3 hours they don't have a life. Prayer. They have to confess every day. They see if you don't believe in what they believe, they think you are going to hell, or those are the things that you have to be careful with. So this religious compulsion, I think Alan Kardec call it compulsions, religions. I'm not making this up. This is, some of this information is from things that I learned channeling, and some of this information is from information that I read from Alan Kardec and other very well known, and working with my spirit godparents. So I'm not making this up. I don't want you to think that I'm making this up just because I want to confuse you. I'm trying to give you information that is supposed to help you identify these energies in this plane, in the astral plane, so that when you talk to your spirit team, that you can be wiser about, can you trust or no those energies that are coming to you. So I'm not trying to talk negative things here so that you might get confused and annoyed. That's not what I'm trying to do. And if you, that's what you're thinking, you might have a problem already. Okay, because even Alan Kardec in the 18, I think it was 1850, he talked about how people that were dealing with religious and spiritual compulsions were very heavily affected by disembodied energies because they were prone to believe anything. They were so prone to believe anything that if the spirit that came noticed that they were already compulsively practicing or following a religion or spiritual practice, that they were already like 50%, they already knew that they could get a person and attach themselves to that person. Okay. So religious, like, if you, let's say you're Christian, and I'm not picking on anyone, I'm just, please, I'm not picking on anyone, I'm just trying to give you an example. But let's say you're Christian and you are overdoing it. You're going 5-7 days a week. Sometimes people go twice a day. You might be over praying, out of nowhere you just start praying a lot, praying, but you were not like that before. But it got to the point that you started doing something that before you did it once a week or twice a week, now you're doing it 7 days a week. You are believing whatever the church or whoever your spiritual practice priestess is, to the point that everything is what they say and that's it. You might be doing a lot of self-sacrifice. Let's say you make $1,000, but you give 10%, but you don't have money to send to your parents, but you have 10% to send it to the church. That's a self-sacrifice, right? So you have to be careful with this. Obsessive prayer, to the point where every time you do one thing, you feel like you have to make it up because you did something bad and now you got to go do mantras or cleansing rituals like crazy, or prayer. So these people are very prone to already have a compulsion that obsessor spirits love, because you already helped them. And now they're going to take you to the next point where they're going to make you even go crazier. Okay. A lot of acts of self-denial and self-sacrifice are very big with those people that are religious or spiritual compulsive. Highly ascended spirits are not going to ask you to do anything that is not in balance. So that, I want you to keep that in mind, because I think sometimes we forget, and if you forget things like that, you might have a big problem understanding what I'm trying to tell you, because like, for example, let's say you belong to Ifa, and the Odu says, I don't know, you cannot have snakes, but you love snakes. Then you got to ask yourself, meditate and ask the question, why can I not have snake? What is the problem with the snake? And then you got to go into your own discernment, because you got to remember, these books were written by people like you and me. Okay. They were written by people like you and me. There is a Tata that practices Palo Monte, that we have developed this energetic connection. And the way that this Palo Monte Tata practices is a little different than a lot of other people. And part of that is because he has a lot of understanding of the spiritual dimension after doing a lot of work for 30 plus years in that arena. So the way that he works with the spirits are completely different than what most people in Palo Monte work. And he's getting results just like anybody else. But he's not following 100% what he says that he needs to follow. He's following the things that his spirits are telling him to follow. And he's getting amazing results. And he's not following those books, those original practices. So I'm giving you that because I know a lot of people are like, oh no, but Ifa says, or no, 21 Division says, or no, Spiritism said. And we got to remember, a lot of these things were written by humans. It was information channel, but a level of consciousness. A level of consciousness determine how well we understand that information. I don't know if I'm making sense, and I don't want to feel like I'm not picking on any specific practice. That's why I'm including 21 divisions, because I can tell you in 21 divisions, there is a lot of things about how 21 division people, only those that are Dominican can be in 21 division, Caballo de Misterio, Horse of the Mystery. I don't believe that. But a lot of people believe that. And a lot of people will say, if you know Dominican, some houses will not initiate you if you're not Dominican, whether other places will. It's more free. There is a lot of more freedom in 21 divisions than in Voodoo, in Haitian Voodoo, because of the way that the country separated and the people separated. So we have some more freedom in 21 division. But even in some houses in 21 division, some houses, lineages, some people will not initiate someone unless they're not Dominican, or unless they have to be Dominican, Puerto Rican, or something like that. Some type of. But what I'm trying to tell you is, some other places do. There is freedom. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. So please understand that anything that we read that was written by men or given by spirit in a channel message, in a mediumship message, has to go through our level of consciousness. And this level of consciousness, if it's not very wide, we only understand a percentage of the message, of the truth essence of the message, is what I'm trying to tell you. Does that make sense? Please let me know. I know there are a few people here, and I want to make sure that that I'm being clear before I continue, because I don't want to talk nonsense. I want to make sure people are understanding me, please. Okay, so how do you identify? How do you identify? Okay, let me put it this way. I'm trying to, some people don't understand. I don't know why this message just came to mind about schizophrenia and some other things like mental disorders. Some people don't understand that those people that have even epilepsy is people that have a very high frequency, receiving a lot of frequency. The brain goes into shock because of the amount of frequency, and they cannot decipher. So they go into shock, and therefore they go into having a seizure. I don't know why I had to say that. Maybe somebody here needed to hear that. I'm not sure why. But the point is, even schizophrenia, people that are dealing with schizophrenia and depression, these mental disorders, these people tend to allow negative entities to dominate their mind because they have a gift that they didn't develop. And there are a lot of mediums that have the gift that when they don't develop that gift, they're more prone to being abused by these entities. Even people that suffer from bipolar issues, right? Where they become two different people in one body. I don't know why I had to mention that. I completely lost my train of thought. Anyway, a mental thought that you have randomly multiple times a day. You wake up and you have a weird thought, and then it comes back, and then it comes back, and then you're doing something and it comes back. That might be an obsessor spirit trying to infiltrate your aura, trying to infiltrate so that they can attach to your mind. For example, if you have a negative, I'm angry, but you don't even know why you're angry. But yes, I am angry, but you don't know why. You might have a problem, right? You might be saying, I hate my life. I don't like my life. I hate my life. My life is ugly. Or why am I so ugly? Why am I so fat? Why am I so fat? Why am I so fat? Then you have to pay attention, because you might be allowing something to infiltrate and give you even more negative ideas. Okay. So a lot of emotions of pain, suffering, doubts, fears are going to trigger you to go downhill. And the moment you're going downhill, those things are ready to eat from your energy and reside within you. The larva energies may reside within you, and a medium might not see them because they're so tiny and they can hide in your subconscious that a medium might not see them. But depending on how you talk to a medium, if the medium is very developed and have expanded their spiritual awareness of the astral planes, that meeting is going to realize, oh, something is funny. I might not see the energy because they're hiding behind the subconscious of the person, but I see that something is happening. So if you're meeting that you're not developing your gift, you might also be more prone to having issues with some of these entities because you're avoiding your responsibilities. I think it was um, when Alan Kardec gave the different type of energies, disembodied energies and all of that, he went into I think he wrote a few books about how to identify some of those energies and so on, and and how to identify the addiction and compulsions and things like that. And I think we talked about a little bit about that, so I'm not going to go into all of that. But what I want to share with you is, you know it is hard to identify sometimes the energies that are coming, because there is a lot, even in the spiritual community, there is a lot of things about when you ask a spirit for their name and they don't give it to you. There are people that say one thing, people that say other things, so you have to channel that information yourself. So I'm asking you to meditate so you can channel the information yourself, but I'm going to give you some tips on how to, now that you understand some of these astral forces, these embodied energies, and how they operate and the things that they want from you. you know I also want you to understand that these energies give you mental images. They might give you thoughts. They might put images in your head, like if if you're lonely, they might put an image of you, you know watching someone on a computer or TV doing something inappropriate sexually, because they want you to do things that you normally wouldn't do. So they might put an image, they might tell you something, you might hear something, or you might feel like, I really want that drink. I can feel it right here, how good that's going to feel. So you go for the drink, right? So there's so many ways that those energies try to infiltrate you. So your job is to learn quickly how to get rid of those things and how to identify the spirits so that you don't let them in when they come knocking. Some of these spirits are very ignorant, malicious, mocking spirits. They will do things to cause chaos, to cause nonsense, annoyance. They lie. They love lying. My goodness, those energies love lying. So one way that you can identify if they're really working for the light or the left planes is by asking things that you know the answer, and you want to see how they respond to you. Does that make sense? Like, sometimes those spirits might have a prone to scientific information, that they were, maybe they were scientists here, maybe they were doctors or whatever. They think they know it all, so when they talk to you, they're going to be very authoritative. They're going to talk to you like a dictator. They're going to talk to you like they know it all. They're very arrogant. They can be jokester spirits as well. They can be imposters. They might come saying that they're Archangel Michael and they're not Archangel Michael. They might come saying that they are Mami Wata and they're not Mami Wata. They might come in a way, whatever way they think that you like, because they study, right? They study us. So you have to understand you first before you can understand the energies. That's why we always go back to spiritual discernment starts with us. Once we learn ourselves and we learn how to read humans and animals and even plants, then we can understand spirits that are these embodied energies. So how do you get rid of these energies? It's easy. You got to increase your vibration. You have to operate from peace, love, compassion. You have to, if you know if you understand the power of the frequency, you're going to use frequency sounds to cleanse your house, even to cleanse your car, to cleanse your auric and light body. You're going to use spiritual bath because you know the power of the herbs and plants and flowers. You're going to meditate, right? To get rid of those bacteria, you put a frequency to get rid of a high frequency to get rid of those bacteria, and they will leave you because they will die within, they will just disappear. They cannot stay in you. You got to cleanse your house. A lot of those energies stay in your house, especially where there is stock energy. They love that type of energy because that's where they thrive the most. You got to do a lot of self-reflection. You can get rid of it by meditation. You could do a spiritual bath. You can go to the ocean, to the river, and ask. You can take a bath and do it yourself at home. You could do quantum healing too. Meditation. Do your own quantum healing if you can afford to do quantum healing with somebody else. If you can afford to see a spiritist, a santero, whoever, right? They can cleanse the auric field, but you can do that at home with very simple technique. With a spiritual bath, you can do that. And you got to work on opening the heart space, because when you work the heart space, you bring the shadows to the light. They can no longer dominate you, and because they can no longer dominate you, they cannot be around you. Okay, so there are different things that you can do to identify if these spirits are coming to make you obsessed. And we talked about that. Medians may be deceased early on when they're going through their spiritual development to know how to be a good median, because they need to know how it feels and what they see when they're being tricked by these entities. I participated in a spiritual ceremony once where I was just a participant, and I noticed something funny filtering through. And I thought the main person leading the ceremony was going to see it, but this person didn't see it. Everything ended, and I'm like, I still feel like something is following me, and that thing followed me for almost a month, and I had to go and ask Aloha to. I had to go into my own trance and meditation to ask my Lord to get rid of this and close that portal for that entity to remove it. But the person leading the ceremony didn't see it. And something filtered through that was very negative, very malicious energy. So when you participate in spiritual ceremony, that's why you cannot go everywhere, because you don't know what's going to filter through. These energies are always around looking for an opportunity because they need to eat, they need to survive. Now, it might be a spirit that wants to help to make you upset, or that is dealing with you to make you even more into what some people call it fascination. Like the spirits that work with people that are fascinated by spiritual or religious things are next level than just a simple obsession. And then you go into the ones that are very dangerous and make you obsessed with things. So fascination is next level from the simple obsession. So if you are fascinated by things, you need to be very careful, because you might be welcoming something that doesn't need to be. You might be blindsided and believing everything without understanding what you're doing. Now, when the spirit is already making you so obsessed that they are part of you, they have incorporated and become part of you. That's why even people that work to remove spirits, muertos, and stuff like that, have a hard time removing these energies 100%, because they have hashed themselves to the point where you are now almost, your free will is no longer important, because you have given them, almost like you have given them access to your body and your mind. So your free will is almost to the side, unless you fight very hard. So you got to be very careful not to get to the point, because the fascination is the second point. When you go through a fascination, you can remove those things, but when you let them become part of you 100%, it's almost like they have taken 100%, 99% access to who you are, and you're no longer there. So you have to, there are different levels, and we don't have time to go into all of those things, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. So a medium put themselves in this situation. They have to expand their mind and their consciousness so that they can understand how to read things in the astral planes and the different planes, how to read energy, how to discern energy, how to question things, so that they are not tricked by things. And they have to work with the heart space to open up the heart space to get rid of all the shadows, so that the shadows can no longer have control over you. Negative thoughts and cycles, obsessions, and things that you're dealing with, you got to figure out how to get rid of those obsessions and negative thoughts, because that's when we allow opportunities. Like if you don't like criticism, if you don't if you're always very defensive with some things that someone tells you, you might have a problem. You got to work on that. You got to go to the root of that in order for you to understand. Okay, so now let's talk about we have 20 minutes. I want to talk about how to get proof, how to get proof of identity from the spirits, how to get proof so that you can understand the spirits. And this is I think this is what we started talking about before, but I guess I don't know why I got sidetracked. There is this thing in the spirit community where people don't know if when we ask for the name of the spirit, if we're actually, if that's really their name. We don't have proof. We don't know if it's true. We either believe or we don't believe. Now, the spirits that are very highly ascended, they're less prone to be attached to us, to a name that they use in this reality, because they have lived so many different lives. They're not attached to just one name. So they don't tend to be attached. They don't tend to be attached to a specific name, but they might give you a name because you need a name as a human to use to call them because you think that's the way. But the most important thing that you can do is tap into the vibration that energy gives you when they come forward for you, because that vibration, that feeling, is the main way that you actually call that energy. For example, we know that we have a legion of madamas. It's not just one. We have legions that work under Candelos Edife, under Archangel Michael, even under Mami Wata, under any spirit. We're going to have legions of people that might work under them, commissions. For this reason, they might use Candelos Edife. I don't know. Let's say you ask for the name, they might say, I am Victoria Archangel Michael. And that means I work for Archangel Michael, right? Or whatever name they give you, or Madama Juana, or Madama Rose, Madama Titi, Madama Mary, whatever, right? Could be whatever name. They're letting you know that's the energy, the main energy. The name is one of the names that they use for one of their incarnation, depending on your life path, depending on your mission and the mission that they have to work with you, depending on your life mission. They have many missions, but depending on your mission, they might come in a way that is going to be different than mine. Okay, that's what I'm saying. For this reason, the question of identity becomes secondary. We always ask just in case, and that way we can get the answer. Sometimes if they say it jokingly, like, ha, I'm this, we might have a problem with that. Because most energies that are very highly elevated, they're going to be more, they're not going to have that pride. They're not going to have that arrogance. They're not going to, they're going to be more gentle with what they say and how they say it. They might not, a lot of them will not curse depending on the elevation. If they're less elevated, they're going to have more, they might curse at you, especially if you ask a million things the same thing. I remember asking a spirit, I don't know, I think I asked like 100 times, and she was like, oh my god, like she cursed in Creole, and I was like, okay, I finally get it, because I needed to hear that, I guess. But the more doubts and fears you have, the more prone you are to allow something that doesn't belong in your immediate space. Okay, is what I'm saying. So you know also, you got to remember these highly energies, they are less attached to this reality, so that they're going to be more, they might give you an answer, and the answer, every word is going to be very important for you to decipher. If they give you a number, that number has meaning, so you have to decipher. Now, spirits that are for the left planes, they're going to try to convince you, so that they might give you a lot. Okay, so you have to know these things. If they're trying to tell you that they know everything, you have a problem. If they're trying to tell you, let's say you ask them and they give you an exact day and exact time, you might have a problem, because spirits of the light, they know it's free will planet, so they're not going to try to tell you to do something that it might change, or that they shouldn't, because it could complicate things for you. So they're going to be more evasive with some answers that they might give you. Now, purify, highly purify energies, they will not give you orders. This is a free will planet. They will not give you order, and they will not do anything against your free will. So if something happens to you and you didn't give permission, you need to investigate more and get more answers, because you might be dealing with something from the left plane that is trying to trick you. Spirits of the light that are very highly elevated. I'm talking about, with 21 division, we have different levels. I'm talking about highly elevated spirits. They will have less of a human personality and be more about the vibration that they emit and the information that they give you. So you got to tap into the teachings and the vibration that you feel when you're with them, communicating with them, talking to them, or seeing them, or hearing them. What do you feel? What do you feel in your body at that moment? Did you feel a fluid that it was like, oh my God? Or did you feel, were you fearful? Were you like, oh shit, I'm in trouble? So those things will give you an idea of who you're working with. And then when you ask the name, remember, you might get, I don't know, let's say you get Ursuline um, Mapien. Let's say you get Ursuline Mapien. A lot of people think Ursuline Mapien is can be dangerous or whatever. Well, for you, maybe she came in a very motherly, very calm, very loving, right? If she's giving you those vibes, it's for a reason. So you got to pay attention to the feelings that they are emitting, because that energy, when those energies are close to you, the more elevated they are, the more feeling they will give you, and they will make you feel happy. They will make the at peace. They will make you feel like the mission has the purpose, your life has a purpose here. Now sometimes they will not give you a name because they have to test you. They have to see how you really want to work, and how they want to work with you, and how you want to work with them. Sometimes you might hear a name, sometimes it might not be very clear, sometimes they will not give you a name, especially if they're very, very, very ancient. They might not give you a name because there is not a human word that they can put to their name, but they will give you a vibration, a feeling, so that you can tap into that vibration to communicate with them. Does that make sense? Um, what else? These energies that are trying to trick you are going to be arrogant, prideful. They might curse a lot. If you ask them to swear, let's say they ask you, that you ask them for the name and they give it to you, and you ask them to swear in the name of God, in the name of pure love consciousness, and they refuse, you have a problem. That's an easy one. You have a problem if they refuse. So there are different ways that you can test those energy, so that, oh, and if you ask them, if they ask you to do something and it's no a suggestion, but it's an order, you have a problem, because spirits of the light, they understand that this planet operates on free will, and they will not do anything. They will not dictate to you to do something. They will guidely, gently push you in a way that is more, I will suggest for you to do this, I recommend for you to do this, but they will not say you have to do this. If they say that you have to, that's an order. And if they keep pushing you, that's another way that you know that something is wrong. It's not for your highest good. You need to investigate. You need to meditate, and need to get more answers, right? So spirits of the lights might talk to you in metaphors and very simple ways. Remember, what is simple to you might be complicated to me. So that doesn't mean that it's simple in terms of just that they're not going to make it confusing. They're going to be more clear and direct, gently, in a way that is going to be more almost like a recommendation. Okay. What else? They're not going to worry about trivial matters. The spirits of the light have other big things to deal with. They're not going to be worried about the little things that you worry about. So you might not get answers for those little things unless you continue to push, and they just feel sorry for you, so that they might do it, but they try to stay away from little trivial things. Okay. I think I mentioned arrogance because spirits that are obsessors are very arrogant, and they are boastful. They know it all. They think they know it all. And you have to be careful with that. The racism in spirit communication is a big no. So that's a clear way that you might be dealing with something from the left planes. Um, see if there is anything else that I want to share. They give us a hint, but they don't, they never give us a exact time or date. It's very rare for us to get an exact time or date from. I don't think it will happen because they know anything can happen because this is a free will planet. Trying to see if I remember anything before I go. Let me just read some of the comments just to make sure, because I think I'm gonna have to leave it there. And I want to give you, okay, before I go into the comments, your bóveda, where you have your altar, if you want to get information about your spirit team, to ensure that you're receiving information from your spirit team, you're going to use 7, 8, if you're working with ancestor, the 9 cups of water, and you're going to put them in a circle. In the center, put a big bowl of water as well. So it's going to be like this. I don't know if you guys can see this. Okay. And that's going to allow you in the astral plane for them to coordinate and give you the next information that you need the most. Now, fresh water, cool water. No, you don't use hot water for the altar, okay? And you're going to do a prayer and you're going to ask them to please communicate. This is when you are aligning the spirit team and you're letting them know you need alignment because you need to understand who's coming in and so on, right? And if you want to hear more about this, we can do another live because I have to go. But when you align those glasses in a circle, this is the circle of creation, and you are aligning your spirit team. You're asking your spirit team to align themselves so that you can have clear communication and receive what you need for the night. So if you want to know your spirit team, what you're going to say is, you do your prayer or your conversation, and you're going to say, I am asking for my spirit team that has the highest good in mind for me to please come tonight, whether you're meditating or going to sleep, and tell me in my dreams or in meditation, who is my main spirit guide that I need to be aware of right now that is coming forward to help me with whatever you're dealing with, or that is my main guardian angel. And you're going to receive the answer. You will receive the answer. Now, if you are dealing with, let's say you have a new spirit that is coming through, and that spirit is coming through, but you don't know the name, and you really want to figure out the name or why it's coming through or how to better communicate, you put all the caps in one line, straight, like this. Okay? And that's going to help you figure out that energy. And I think I'm going to do another video next week because I ran out of time. And this is such an important conversation to have, because a lot of people are not understanding how truly this is serious work that needs to be done in order for us to truly develop our abilities as a medium channeler spiritist. So anyways, I'm running out of time. I really have to go. I really need this message and I'm gratitude. I just started my spiritual journey. Okay, guys, I'm not going to be able to read all the comments because I have to go, but I'm going to read them later. And if there is anything there that I need to clarify, I'll definitely take note of that for the next live. I want to thank you for being here. I know this was, very rushed, but I wanted to make sure that I did it preparing for a sacred journey tonight and tomorrow. And I want to make sure that I take care of this person. So I have to go now, but I hope you got something positive out of this. I know it's a lot of information. People might be confused. Oh my God, there is negative energies. I'm not promoting negative energies. I just want you to understand there is more than just the light, because just like we have the light, we have the left planes, we have the dark. So we have to be conscious so that we know what we're fighting when we are fighting for ourselves or for others, our family and communities. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it here and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Ciao.